My name's Jacob. I've been in the multifamily and renovation business since 2007. I'm leveraging that experience for renovating apartments and homes to try my hand at actually doing the full-on investment. Just got my first deal. It's about $205,000. We purchased a property in Atlanta. Being on one side of the fence, being the contractor that's normally coming into a deal after it's already been purchased. Sometimes people reach out to me to give them quotes for their job. They may be a specific part of the job. Sometimes they want to do the whole house. But now I'm doing it all myself, so it's pretty exciting. Budgets are real, and they get blown out. And now, being on the investor side, you feel that a lot harder because even being a contractor and being able to control my costs a little bit more, and I'm not profiting from the construction. It's a lot to take on doing both sides. So anybody doing both sides, kudos to you. Something that I've realized being on the investment side now is how important it is to stay in budget. Obviously, it's always important. It's important for me as a contractor to stay in budget. If I'm doing a job and put guys on a project, I can't be paying out too much than what I've quoted. It's a little bit more daunting when you're on the hook for the entire deal to work out, and if you take investor money as well, and you have to make a return for your investors, that's even more pressure. We didn't take any personal money or private money from outside investors. We just collectively put our money in, and we did a hard money loan with a $30,000 construction loan as well. So we put 20% down. Purchase price was $205. So we put down about 53,000 total. That's all the fees, everything. There was an inspection done that was like $550. We got other fees like insurance. I think insurance came out. You have to pay for the full time if you're going to do hard money. It's a 12-month insurance plan. So homeowners insurance, flood insurance, if necessary. We didn't need the flood insurance because it's not a flood zone. So thank goodness for that. Altogether, we were right around, I want to say $2,000 for insurance for 12 months. So you pay it all out up front. And I think we also needed an umbrella policy as well. So we got that. Some of the costs that were a little bit more surprising to us, we ended up having to replace the front door. So that's approximately $1,000 extra that we had to pay out. We had a lot of drywall that fell down from a leak upstairs from the bathroom, and then plumbing that we had to replace. We had to replace the ceiling. So I mean, for the most part, you have surprise stuff like that comes up. But the product that we ended up going with for the countertops were a little bit more than what we were originally planning on spending. Well, I said a little bit more. It's about double. I was looking at like $3,500 that we were gonna have to pay for granite, and I was gonna go with a lower grade granite, pretty much contractor grade. So we ended up going with a quartz. Looks like a marble quartz type style. It's Calcutta something. That we ended up spending more money on. We ended up keeping the tubs. We're gonna just refinish the tubs. So anybody that isn't familiar with tub refinishing, it's a really good way to cut costs on instead of replacing. If you just want to make it look nice, do a lot of research on whoever you have doing it. You don't want your wall painter or exterior wall painter to do that. It's not that type of paint. There's companies specific just for that. If you do go that route, make sure that they give you a warranty, make sure that they have it written up, what they offer, what it covers. Generally, if you're going to go that route, you save money, but obviously when you save money, there's some things that you just can't expect. So if you replace the tub, that'll probably be good for 20, 30 years. If you refinish, you're probably, if it's a guy that did a good job, maybe 5, 10 years at best. I've talked to some flooring guys, and they always want to take the easier route. Never let your flooring people or never let your vendors try to dictate what you should use. Know what you want to use. So you got to be able to decipher whether they're trying to cut a corner or if they're actually trying to help you. Do your research. Get an opinion. If it costs you an extra $500 to have somebody just come in and take a look, spend that $500. Make sure things are right. There's nothing wrong with that. So as the principal investor, your money's on the line. You want to make sure that whoever's doing that job is doing the right job. If you're flipping like myself, you want to get it out as fast as possible, and you don't want any problems. This is my first flip officially. I've worked on other people's flips, so I've seen on my end where they can have problems where they get delayed. Somebody doesn't show up, somebody doesn't do a good job, somebody messes up somebody else's job. Ultimately, the investor's the one that ends up holding the bag. So those are some of the potential pitfalls that I've seen as far as like the process goes when you're flipping a home. Make sure that you don't ask too much. If you call them in for a specific job, just have them do that job. You got to make sure that whoever's working out there has the proper insurance. And if they don't, you just got to know you're liable for that. You're at risk of being sued. You're at risk of losing money. Somebody's asking you to take care of whatever. If they mess up, something in the house, that's going to come off of your insurance. Your insurance generally would ask who was doing the work, and they're going to go after the insurance of the contractor or the sub. That is somebody that you want to make sure that has their insurance. They have all their stuff in line. So that's some of the stuff that, as a longtime renovator, that I've dealt with, and I'm trying to apply to my deal now. The way I got the deal, I was going to different forums and group meetings with realtors and lenders, and I met a realtor that she specializes in buying or finding distressed properties or pre-foreclosures, and she offers them to her investors on her list. That is one way of going about it. You do lose money going that route, because if they're a realtor, they're going to get a percentage of the sale. So they normally get their 6% or 3%, whatever it may be. That is a way that you could find deals. Wholesalers, but I've talked to several wholesalers. There's not too much meat on that bone, generally speaking, from what I've seen. Once again, I've done research, but I haven't been in that game too long, so I don't know, so much of what they offer. I'm sure there's some really good wholesalers out there that have a good deal for an investor. So once again, just like anything, do your research. When you are presented with a home, don't just jump on anything. Look at the comps. Generally they should, supply some comps that are real. Just look at the neighborhood. You can go on Zillow. There's other apps that you can go on. If it's something in a neighborhood, you want to do a comp in a neighborhood. You don't want, a 5-acre house that's off the main road, be, compared to a house in a 500 house subdivision. You want to make sure that it is a true comp. If you're in a subdivision, more than likely you're going to have sewer. If it's a house that's sitting by itself with 5, 6, however many acres, that might be on a septic. So you're looking at a different deal. One has more land, one doesn't have as much land. Even if they have the same square footage, and even if they're built around the same time, it's a different deal. So just make sure, like, if you are looking at any properties to purchase, you are getting the right information. And once again, the best information is just information you can find yourself. It's not too hard. Somebody gives you an address, just plug it in to Zillow and just look at what's recently sold in that area that is close to what you have. I'm still fairly new to this. I've done a lot of research. I've been in the industry on the contractor side, so there's a lot more I'm learning. I want to go over pretty much everything that I've seen, that I've experienced, being on my end or my new end of investing. Also talk about it from a contractor standpoint as well. If anybody has any questions, definitely leave a comment, send me a message. Whatever knowledge I have, or whatever experiences I've had, I'll definitely try to share that with you, and different connections that you're going to have to make, or find people that know where to find other people, companies that can help you with the process. So I'm still looking at more houses. I'm going to start my hand at trying to do cold calls. So I may do a video on cold calling of what I've experienced. There's some people out there, I've seen videos where people will actually just sit there and cold call. There's some that they would have their team cold call. They'll give them hot leads, and then they'll call those leads once it's a soft introduction. So those are that's almost a gimme. That's great for whoever's doing that. Like I want to do that. I want to call people that want to be called, but you also have to go through all that riffraff, or not so much riffraff, but just the people that don't want to talk. There's a lot of people that don't want to talk, and that's fine. I mean, it's gonna take you have to have a strong backbone and thick skin if you're gonna cold call. I grew up knocking on doors, and yeah, that's not easy. When you have to go door to door and talking to strangers, and you just never know who you're going to talk to. Same thing with cold calling. I get cold calls all the time. I hang up, to be honest. I mean, I try to be as polite as possible, but some people are very persistent. So be as kind as you can be nice, be polite, respectful. Those people aren't expecting you to contact them, whichever way you do it. But that's something I'm going to try. Like I said, so many different ways of finding deals and different aspects to this business. That's the reason why I love it. I've been in it for a while. So, hopefully I can keep growing in this industry. My ultimate goal is to, own a lot of properties and maintain them, rent them. So instead of just flipping. So just going to try this for now and then see how it goes. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me. I would love to answer anything, or maybe even learn. You could ask a question. Maybe I don't have the answer. I can do some research, and we can all learn together. So for now, I'm out. Thanks. Appreciate it. And until next time. Peace.